Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Wherever you are in the world, whoever you support, welcome. Even the Arsenal fans, welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, it's been a strange one. We've had the FA Cup weekend. Most of our clubs weren't even involved in it, which is really, really strange. Even you, Romz, even Liverpool, not involved in the FA Cup this weekend. So I believe of all of this panel, it's only Ant who is flying the flag for the FA Cup.
No, we've not played yet.
Yeah, you're playing tonight, aren't you? You're playing tonight against Ipswich. So, look, guys, this week we've had Arsenal in talks with Joshua Kimmich. I want to get into that a little bit. We've had Man United, another Man United defeat. Didn't actually think they were that bad, but another Man United defeat. Tottenham and Chelsea are in European action this week. Liverpool are in European action this week. And West Ham are West Ham. So other than that, let's get going. I want to start, guys, with the news. I want to start with you, Hooks. Kimmich. It broke that you were talking to him last week. Even the likes of Plettenberg and Fabrizio Romano all said that you were in talks with him. I saw lots of Arsenal fans saying, yeah, brilliant, this is what we need. I saw loads of them saying, oh, this guy's old, he's washed. Where are you with Joshua Kimmich?
Do you know what my thing is? I don't want to see Arsenal sign anybody before they sign a striker. Be so completely honest with everybody. Like, don't get me wrong. I can understand the Kimmich because cool. If Jorginho's leaving, Kimmich comes in like for like. If you can get him on a free transfer as well, why not? Heaps of experience, heaps of know-how. He's won the Bundesliga bare times. He's won the he's won Champions League. I'm pretty sure he's won the Champions League. He's won the He's won at national level with Germany as well. So he's a leader. Like, yeah, he took the reins from Philip Lahm as well. So he had one of the greatest teachers you could have in football. Like, he will be so good for the younger players in the Arsenal team as well. And he's more of a I mean, it's so crazy that I want someone that literally knocked me out of the Champions League last season. But he's more of someone that's like, because yeah, Jorginho has that know-how, but do you know what I mean? There's just different levels in it. Do you know what I mean? There's just completely different levels. So, hey, if Jorginho's going out and you can get Kimmich in on a free, go for it. I don't know how much we would have to pay him in terms of wages. I don't know what that conversation looks like. If we can get him for in and around similar amounts to Jorginho, cool. I'm all for it. But I'll be honest, like, does getting Kimmich on a free scream, you wanna win anything big? Like, I don't know. Like, to me, it doesn't really.
So they say free transfer. I mean, I've heard it's on between 350 and 400 grand a week. So that's quite an investment, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is that how much we had to pay him?
That's what he's on it buying, yeah.
Whoa, yeah. Buy Kimmich.
Which is mad. Like, if you look at the buying wages online, like their wage structure is different. They're paying those players like big money. Multiple people on over 300k a week, easy.
You know what though? Like before the wages, I would have said, before I knew what the wages were, I would have said it's a kind of signing that Arsenal would have needed alongside their priorities in terms of when Hooks was saying about know-how, like a lot of the players that they've won trophies already that are at Arsenal don't really start. And like, I feel like they need that like starting 11 sort of signing where you've got that bit of leadership and know-how on the pitch already, instead of some of the backroom players or the squad players like Jesus doesn't really play, either injured or just hasn't been starting. Zinchenko not good enough. Jorginho is more on the side sort of thing. He's almost coaching from the sideline sort of thing. So if the wages weren't that bad, then Kimmich would be a good signing, obviously alongside what Hook said, a striker, because that's what Arsenal have been needing. In fact, I don't think Arteta's ever signed like a proper striker. And I know Jesus was kind of signed for that, but obviously he's not an actual striker, is he? So it would have been a good signing before I knew what the wages were.
He's on 375,000 euros a week. So I've just done
340, 350
pounds. Well, according to Google, as of this minute, I don't know. I don't work in foreign currency, Charlie, but according to them, it's £310,000, which is still it's a lot of money. But I guess my question would be, if Arsenal were going to get him, guys, would you lot see him as more of that kind of inverted right back, you know, that role, or are you looking straight into central midfield? Because he would get in the Arsenal 11, right? He's a good player, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Maybe a Partey replacement, Hooks, if Partey were to leave.
Well, the way that I see it is Zubamendi. Well, I mean, who we've been linked to. Like, I would imagine Zubamendi to be the Partey replacement, and then I would imagine Kimmich to be the Jorginho replacement. But I guess what Kimmich can do that Jorginho can't do is he can play. I completely forgot about that. He can play right back as well. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But then
you need a right back though.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I don't want Arsenal to sign players anymore that are versatile. I want Arsenal to start signing players that are specialists. And like Kimmich just screams to me like Arteta, like doing that, like that galaxy brain thing where it's like, oh yeah, I can bring him in as the Jorginho replacement, but I can also use him at right back. Kind of doing what he's doing with Partey. So I guess maybe in that sense he is the Partey replacement, because Partey can play. He can play the 6 and he can play right back. So maybe he is the Partey. He would be the Partey replacement, and then Zubamendi would be the Jorginho replacement in terms of skill set potentially.
The word coming out of Arsenal is that they're negotiating with Partey right now for a new contract. So it's not certain he's going to be going.
Okay.
And also, what I was going to say is, I don't think you should deploy him at right back, because we know how your right-hand side works with Odegaard, Ben White and Saka. If you don't employ him, he's not going to overlap Saka. That takes away a bit from Saka's game, because he needs that overlap to come inside and have a lot of space for himself. So I think he should mainly play midfield. Only really play right back where, let's say it's a cup game rotational, but if Ben White's fit, I think he starts. And I think Ben White's pivotal to how you lot play. So I wouldn't really say you need him at right back at all.
But I think we need a change.
Sorry, what's going on?
No, I was just gonna say, I think we need a change. Like tactically, I think we need a change. Like I think Arsenal. Well, at Arsenal, we need to stop doing this thing where we're like heavily relying on like combinations on either side. Like we're heavily reliant on the right back being able to sync up with the right wing, being able to sync up with the RCM. Like, do you know what I mean? And maybe that's why our left side for a very long time has died, because whatever combinations we create on the right, we haven't been able to create that on the left, and that's a systemic thing. So maybe we need to, maybe we just, do you know what? Maybe, you know, and it may not happen, but maybe at the end of this season, maybe Arteta just needs to go, you know what, burn it all down to the ground and just start again.
Not phase one again.
No, I don't mean. I don't mean in that sense. I mean more like tactically and how he plays the game, and like the instructions that he gives, and like how he expects like certain positions to be played. Like maybe even formation. Like,
Hooks, can I ask you then? Sorry, just let me ask you, Hooks. I mean, let's be fair. If you're going to probably finish second again this year, it'll be 3 years in a row second. Don't you think then would be a really good time to mix up, even like your midfield? Like on paper, we talked about this the other day, but Partey, Rice, and Odegaard on paper is a really good, really strong midfield with lots of different attributes combined. But at some point, it's got to be changed up if it's not working, right? Like I'm not saying it's not working from the point that you're a bad club, but surely you would get Kimmich in there, wouldn't you? You want a little bit of a different type of way of playing to see if you can go again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, look, 100%. Like me personally, I don't know how other Arsenal fans are looking at it, but I'm looking at this summer as arguably the most important summer for Arteta under Arsenal, because look, here's the thing, my personal thing is, if you don't win me any majors this season, I've been consistent with you, don't win me any majors this season, I want you gone. But I don't have any control over you going or not. And I know that the owners, as long as you get top 4, you're probably going to keep your job in it. And you're not going to walk away, because who in their right mind walks away from the club they love, where they're also getting paid £15 million a year? Like, it's just not going to walk away from it, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Especially where the expectation is as low as get as far as you can in the cups and finish top 4. Like, you know, you're not going to walk away. That's the greatest job on earth, personally, in my opinion. So, but I do feel, and you can see it a lot now, especially in the most recent home games, that even the match going fans are starting to get very frustrated and very annoyed with like our inability to capitalize on certain things, the way that we play. Like, you can really feel it. Like, even when I've been in the stadium, you can feel that it's not quite the same as what it was last season or the season before. So I think even the match going fans are coming to the end of their tether. And it was like with Wenger. Like, Wenger the pressure only really went on Wenger when it was the match going fans that started saying the things that people were saying online. So that's why I feel like Arteta may have to accept that this summer he has to do something big, because we have to start next season sort of like how Liverpool have started this one. Just boom, straight out of the hatches. Like, no, like, slow build up and we're building towards doing something. No, immediately we need to come out of the hatches and we need to be doing our job. And on top of that, we're going to be getting a new sporting director, who I'm sure that new sporting director that comes in is going to want to like prove his worth, or her, could be a her that comes in, their worth going forward, isn't it? So
from the old Atletico.
Doesn't that put more pressure on Arteta though, Hooks? If you get a top director in, let's say it's this Berta guy, if you get a top director in, that's level up pressure again on Arteta, because now there are zero excuses for him not to win anything.
I think it's less pressure. I think it's less pressure on him. Yeah, because if someone, if an experience,
no,
I was going to say,
go on, mate. I was going to say, like, if a top director comes in, right, gives Arteta what he wants, gives you the strike, gives you whatever you need, and he still don't deliver, surely that's an increase in pressure when he's been given the tools. Now he's got to go, and now he has to go and do it. I mean, he should be doing it this season, but you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get, from that aspect. I was just thinking it from the aspect of like he's got less pressure now because there's someone competent above him that's actually doing their job in it. So there's going to be less, because obviously I'm assuming with someone with more competence above him, he will do more. Well, he will do better. That's my assumption in it. So, but yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. But yes, it's really pivotal. And like I said, if I go another transfer window without signing a striker, I'm gonna crash it out online. I can't lie.
Thing is, look, you can have the best manager and the best football director. If the board aren't willing to splash the cash out, it doesn't make a great deal of difference. And I think everybody knew last summer that you needed a striker. So you talk about this summer as the most important. I think last summer was an opportunity, and it's been proven with City's drop-off, was an opportunity for Arsenal to really push on. And what they needed was a top goal scorer, and they didn't get one. So as I say, no matter how good your manager and your directors may be, you need the board to support them. Do you think they will?
The board, but the thing is, the owners have actually supported Arteta.
Yeah.
Arteta has always, Arteta spent a lot of money.
So do you think that it was Arteta that didn't want a striker then?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, okay.
People Havertz was going to be their guy. That was
no, because Havertz was signed as a midfielder in it, but
this would be their guy, but obviously it's profiled him because he generally would be a number 9.
I think it's at the beginning. I believe that he wanted the Jesus profile because of the way that he wanted to play, the way that he wanted to set up, and Jesus is perfect for that, like false 9. I hear it. Obviously, you signed Zinchenko with him. I hear it. Teach to get the inverted left back into the way that we play. I hear it. Then, obviously, Jesus had his injury problems, and I think he became a bit complacent. But as of recent, the reason why I think he hasn't signed a striker is because he can't get the striker that he wants, and he wants Sesko. Like, I mean, it's just it's clear as day that he wants Sesko in it. So I think that his stubbornness is stopping him from doing something great at Arsenal, because there's a whole heap of strikers that he could have signed or should have signed that would do a brilliant job at Arsenal. Like, so we will see. Like, all I know is we need a striker. That's all I know. I don't even care who's at the helm. I honestly don't care who's at the helm. It could be anybody. Do you know what I mean? Romz could be the manager. Just get me a striker. Like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't even matter who's there.
I wouldn't get you a striker. I'll sell your players.
I've heard good things about Romz. I've heard good things about Romz's man management. So,
do you reckon there'll be a power shift then within the new director of football then compared to how it was between Arteta and Edu? Or do you reckon Arteta's going to have like less of the say?
This is why I like Berta, by the way, because Berta's actually signed a lot of strikers.
And you know what, Hooks?
No,
I did my research. He even signed Luis Suarez when no one else wanted to take a gamble with him. Then they won the league. So, his decision making.
Well, obviously, Atletico's reputation is built upon a very defensive structure, isn't it? Being very sound at the back, and that's not really the Arsenal way, is it? Could that be a potential issue?
I mean, that is the Arsenal way. I mean, currently under
George Graham.
George Graham.
Oh, George, double G.
If you actually watch Atletico,
I
think if you actually watch Atletico, and I watch a lot of Spanish football, I do feel like Simeone's teams do get a bad rep that they only play defensive-minded football. Yeah. I feel like he can float in between very easily. But what Simeone's teams are is they are bloody difficult to beat. Like everyone that plays for Simeone runs through brick walls for him, hence why Conor Gallagher went there, right? He's a perfect Simeone type footballer. I wouldn't want him to go to Arsenal because I do actually think he would win the title with Arsenal. I do, and that would be my worry as a Spurs fan. I don't want them to get Simeone, right? But can I just ask before we move on from that? Do you guys see that Kimmich could be going anywhere else? I see people in the chat have said, no, I can only see him going to City. Obviously, he knows Pep. He might go to Liverpool because they're going to win the title. Anyone see that there could be more big teams going in for him? The fact that it is a free transfer.
Yeah, I think City, yeah, but I'd be surprised if Liverpool paid those. I'm sorry to go back to the wages, but they are an important factor. I'd be surprised if Liverpool were prepared to pay that for a 30-year-old.
Yeah, I think it would deter a lot of big clubs away. He's gonna. I think it would take a bit longer to negotiate for him to negotiate a free transfer just because of the wages. He'll probably be initially very stubborn.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think it'll take longer for him to negotiate because he'll initially be stubborn with the wages. Then he'll have to drop it because people will be like, well, no one's taking you for free for 350, 400k, etc. So I don't really expect any team from the Prem to do that. Not City with the players they're trying to offload just to spend it on Kimmich when they're free with 400k. Don't expect Arsenal. Maybe Arsenal would. Like the thing is that Arsenal haven't said Jesus' wages. You never know, but I don't think they would. And Liverpool definitely
wrong.
True. Yeah.
Remember, we're trying to get 3 of our top players on contracts as it is, so we're definitely. And even if all 3 had more years left on their deals, we still wouldn't pay that kind of wages for Kimmich. I just can't see it.
There's also the thing with Kimmich, right, is that we see it loads of free agents because they're using this to get a better deal from Bayern. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They were negotiating a couple of weeks ago. They were.
Bayern have offered him that.
I looked at his stats. He started every Bundesliga game this season under company. It's not like he's not being used or anything. He's been a key player for him this season.
He rarely gets injured as well, Charlie.
He's got 10 assists in all comps this season, which is not bad.
Yeah.
You know,
he'll stay at Bayern, won't he? He'll stay at Bayern.
I suspect he'll stay. In all honesty, I think he'll stay.
Their board is a bit dodgy as well. I know a lot of their fans have been calling out their board over the past few years for the amount of times it hasn't worked out under the previous managers and stuff, and they're negotiating contracts and stuff. So that might be a problem in itself. It might be a similar issue to not what we're seeing with Liverpool necessarily, with the big names, like or whether they're going to sign a new deal or not. But it might just be playing games behind the scenes just to get a new deal with Kimmich and Bayern. It might just be the same thing.
See, the only thing I'm thinking of is if you're looking at the only reason I thought of Liverpool, and I know Romz, you're saying no, I wouldn't pay the wages. It just feels like if Trent was to go, wouldn't that be like a really good player to come in that can fill 2 positions on the pitch? Like he gives you more depth in centre mid, and gives you an option to play at right back to go and join in.
I'd love him because even with Bradley, I think Bradley's quality, but he's more for the future. I still don't think he can come into this fold and be our main right back. Other Liverpool fans might kill me for saying that, but I still think he's one for the future. I'd love Kimmich at right back, but what would happen, Savva, is because it's not even if. Once Trent goes to Madrid, we're going to use his wages and probably spread it on the Salah and Van Dijk deal if both stay. So I just can't see this Kimmich deal happening. But I think he would be perfect for us. Honestly, he would. And even certain games when we want to play, I don't know, Gravenberch a bit further forward or McAllister a bit further forward, he could slot into their role. And that's the thing. He's multifunctional, so he'll be perfect for us. I've wanted Kimmich for a couple of years personally, not even necessarily for right midfield under Klopp. That his compatriot could play in the 6, but I just don't think we'll go for him. For us to sign Kimmich, he would have to probably take 30% lower pay cut or something like that. We're just not going to pay them wages, but he would be perfect for us. Would be.
Crazy. Some of these wages are astronomical, aren't they? Guys, it was FA Cup weekend this weekend, and I don't think I've ever seen so many big teams knocked out by the quarterfinal stages. I'm going to ask the question: is this going to be the year that maybe one of the bigger clubs or the traditional big 6, big 4 don't win the cup? You got City in there, who are now one of the big 6. You know, obviously they only have been for the last 10, 15 years. But other than that, Newcastle, second favourites, knocked out of the weekend. Other than that, what are you looking to see? Would you guys like to see someone other than one of the big guys win it now? Would you like to see a Palace win it or a Fulham win it? Or, obviously Nottingham Forest is still in it at the moment. But is this downplaying the FA Cup? Is this a good thing for football? What's happening? What's happening with the FA Cup?
I think it's two things. I think one, it is a good thing because it is boring seeing the same teams winning it all the time. Obviously, it's not boring if it's your own team winning it, but it is boring if you see the same 3 or 4 clubs that are winning the tournament. But look, this year it's opened up. I think what it also does, I don't know if the FA Cup has got the importance to the so-called big teams that it used to have. It's for a lot of teams now, for the big teams especially, it's 3rd out of 4 trophies in the priorities. It's League, Champions League, and then FA Cup comes just above the League Cup in terms of priorities for the big teams, and that's just the sad reality right now. As I think the FA Cup has lost a lot of its value, but this is a good opportunity for a team to win a trophy that doesn't normally win one. You look at someone like Aston Villa, for example, a brilliant opportunity. They got Preston away in the quarterfinals to get to the semis, and who knows? You've got Palace, you've got Fulham in there still. So one of Palace and Fulham will be in the semis because they've been drawn against each other. So, I think it's good for the competition that there's some different teams in there, and there should hopefully be a different winner, or at least different teams getting to the latter stages. But I think what this does point to is a drop off in importance of this competition to the bigger clubs.
Do you know what?
It's not just the bigger clubs, Charlie, I assure you. Even teams in the Championship and the First Division, you'll see them resting players in cup matches.
Even Burnley.
Nottingham Forest, we've done polls on our channel, and I can tell you now, the choice is FA Cup, win the FA Cup or qualify for Champions League. Champions League knocks it out of the park. And
I don't get it. I don't get that at all. Because
Hawks, can you imagine the difference Champions League would make to our club? The income, the profile, the exposure, the attraction of high quality players. These are all things that will build on the future. An FA Cup, Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated. It's brilliant, fantastic.
But it's a trophy that you would have won.
We're looking at the future. We're looking at going forward. You yourself, Savva, keep saying next season you'll be down at the bottom of the division or you'll be halfway or whatever. We don't want that. We want to be able to stay up, in the top 8.
It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Myself, along with most of the people who are pissed off with Wolfie all season, want Tottenham Forest to be bottom half next year. Not because of you. Not because of your managerial players, Wolfie.
Let's be honest, If you make it, if you make it into the Champions League, you fall out early, and people are not going to remember that, and then you might.
You don't get early. You don't get early nowadays. You've got 8 games. You don't get early knockouts. Not like in my day, we could be knocked out in the first round. You got 8 games.
You can still be knocked out in January if you win the cup.
Yeah. Of course you can. By that time, you've got the money, you've got the exposure, you've got the prestige. You've hopefully attracted higher quality players. It's already done. by that time. So
But you know what my thing is?
To build on it. This is how we look at it anyway, you know.
Do you know what my thing is? Yeah. I don't do this. Like, I'm not one of those fans that do this comparative trophy thing, innit? Like, to me, the FA Cup is like, I grew up on that shit, man. Like, I used to love most of them were televised on TV. Like, I have memories of sitting down with family and just watching FA Cup and like,
all day,
you know what I mean? Like,
all day.
Yeah, like,
in the morning. Yeah.
To me, like FA Cup's like it's a proper English thing, innit? And like, obviously I grew up outside of like the city of London, innit? So like it just, I don't know, the FA Cup has always meant more to me, innit? So I love it when my club wins it. I love the fact that we won it the most. I love the fact that Manchester United fans thought they was equal in it this season, but they got knocked out. I love that. Yeah. And for me, like, I personally don't understand why a team would sacrifice a real chance at winning the FA Cup just to make top 5. I don't understand it. Like, if anything,
to be fair, your club is established. They've got a lot of money and they're established as a top 6 club, if you want to call it that. We're not. We need to try, and our ambition needs to be trying to at least have a go at getting there.
We're established because of the trophies that we won. But we're established because of the trophies that we won.
Yeah,
it's trophies that establish you. It's not finishing top 4. It's trophies that establish you.
You know what? I agree with Brooks, because imagine. Listen, this is the way I look at it, right? In the short term, it's great. Let's use Forest, for example, Amp, because you're on the panel, right? In the short term, yeah, Champions League qualification this year, over winning the FA Cup, great. Go for it. In the short term, it's great. You have your year in Champions League. There's no guarantee you're going to repeat it. You know, all of your team next season are going to suddenly have to start playing 2 games a week instead of 1. We've seen the difference that makes to football clubs. It's absolutely huge. It doesn't matter how many players they bring in. It is huge. Now, all of a sudden, you're out. You've had that 1 year. Yeah. Clubs have come in for some of your better players. Now, all of a sudden, it's, oh, right, we've had our year and we're back to being normal. Now, I'm not saying that will happen, but we've seen that happen with a lot of clubs.
No, I can understand that.
Surely the FA
look
Cup
at Leicester.
is kind of like
you can look at Leicester, can't you? Leicester won the league.
And I've got a question, right? What would you rather? Finish top 4 or win the FA Cup and play Europa League next season? Oh, it's on the screen.
FA Cup, FA Cup in Europe. Yeah.
So
I would go FA Cup in Europa,
Yeah. I was going to say, like, literally onto what Savva was saying, this happened to Villa this season because they haven't necessarily, like, gone up a level where they're attracting players because they won in the Champions League. So I think anyone that they signed in the summer and January, they still could have attracted while not playing Champions League. Like, let's be honest, Rashford's stocks ain't that high right now where you could have just attracted them just because they're playing Champions League. Maybe Asensio.
I can honestly see both sides. I fully understand, and I would not criticise any Forest fan for saying he'd rather win the FA Cup and finish 10th. I would not, because I fully understand that. And trust me, if that happened, I would still be happy. You know what I mean? It'd still be a good season for us. We're just trying to build ourselves up. We were once a big club, right? Obviously, you know the history. We were once a big club. The reason we came out of being a big club is because we had no money. We had to sell our players and we went down and down and down. What we want to try and do now is establish ourselves, and I'm not going to say as a top 4, but top 8 team. You know, that's not beyond possibility for us to say we're a big club. We're extending our ground. We've got a good owner that is willing to spend money and is exceedingly ambitious to win trophies. So we believe that we can go forward from here. What the FA Cup doesn't do is promote that. You get nothing for winning it. Actually, where do you go? You go in the Europa League, don't you?
Yeah, you get Europe. And you've got history. Like, you know, when people always let me
I'm not really arguing with you, mate, because I do understand what you're saying.
Do we think it's devalued now, the FA Cup? Do we think maybe you need to go top 3, say top 3 Champions League and FA Cup winners is the 4th Champions League spot to actually get a bit more value in the competition again?
Look, the thing is, to us, because we've all watched it growing up, it doesn't devalue. It not to us is not devalue, but to the clubs definitely, because the prize money ain't mad like that. Where, as Ant said, from a club perspective, the club might be thinking qualify for if it came down to it, qualify for the Champions League or not the FA Cup because of money. But to us,
money.
we take
That's what it is. Money. That's what it is. It's a money
Yeah.
game, isn't it? I get sick and tired. As you can probably tell, I'm old school. And when I put YouTube on, and all it is about money, money. How much is this player getting paid? How much are you going to buy this player for? How much is your club in debt? How much are your board going to spend? It's all money.
Yeah.
Virtually every YouTube video about football is no longer about football. And honestly, mate, I'm out of the old fashioned, but I much preferred it in the old days when you didn't bloody know how much money your team had. You didn't know the name of the director.
You didn't know who the owners of any football club was.
Exactly.
Like growing up, I didn't know the names of any chairman other than the Tottenham
Didn't need
chairman.
to know. Wasn't bothered. Wasn't football. That's not football. Football's on the pitch.
Look, let me bring in Romz. I mean, Romz, this way to look at it, right, is I get it, right? The finance and people want to get into the Champions League. It gives you massive money if you get through and yada, yada, yada. But when we all sit and talk, Romz, about history, like I watch enough panel shows with you lot on and that I go on where everyone's going, we're bigger than you. We're bigger than you. Our history is better than yours.
Just bear with me.
Okay, sure. How do you get that history, guys? Surely it is based on what you've won. Like, surely, as a Spurs fan, I can't sit here and brag, well, in the last 15 years, we've been in the Champions League 6 or 7 times. Like, that's not a brag, is it? It's not it's not like I can say, well, we won the Champions League. We were in it, sure. But do you see what I mean, guys?
Do you know what it is, though? Do you think
one FA
Cup's
not going to change that, is it? One FA Cup's not going to change that.
But
I mean, Man U are big because they're volume-wise, they're big. B, the Busby Babes thing, that had a massive effect on Man United fan base, and that's understandable. People, a lot of sympathy poured out, and people started following because of that.
Yeah.
And also, they've been bloody successful, and they've continued that success up until 10 years ago or whatever. Same with Liverpool. It's difficult for a team like Forest will never be the size of Arsenal and Man U, and that it just won't happen because so much time has gone by. Those teams are established now as the big six, if you like. Although Man City, of course, have broken in. Newcastle are trying to break in, and they could because it's money.
Sav, sorry, what was the question? I couldn't to get the door.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, everyone keeps talking about history and who's won what, but how do clubs grow a history and get a better history if their fan bases are all sitting there going, nah, we'd rather top four than winning the FA Cup? Like, how do you... No, it's just a good talking point.
And you're spot on, Sav, because the amount of times that we hadn't won anything in years and we had to live with that. We've won this and it was X amount of years ago. It's what makes you. Honestly, what makes you.
Isn't it a bit of a conundrum in the fact with Tottenham, for example? Like before the big six, it was like the top 4, and it was like outside of like Tottenham and City. But then you guys established yourself in the Champions League, and now you get known as the Big Six. But also, what people talk about is, well, you haven't won anything since 2008. So it's kind of a bit of a mismatch, really. In fact, like that you get established as the Big Six club, but they'll still talk about the fact you haven't won anything in how long, because trophies are still the main thing at the end of the day for every team. If you can get a chance to win a trophy, you've got to take it serious.
Absolutely, from a fan perspective.
When did Spurs last win the FA Cup? Off the top of all of your head,
1991.
Gaza 91.
Right, that's embarrassing, right? 91.
It is, but
it's for us.
91.
It's for us. We were much better than Tottenham in them days.
Yeah, but from the club's perspective, though, like from a business side of things,
sure,
we don't care because what Tottenham are doing now is making them money. Tottenham are not the wealthiest club, they're the club they're the most profitable club in the Premier League. So from a business standpoint, whether Spurs win trophies or not doesn't actually matter to the business side of the club because they're very successful and they make a lot of money. So for the fans, absolutely, the trophies are the most important thing. But actually, this top 4, this getting Champions League football and whatnot, that is enough to make a very profitable business, and that's where the issue lies. I think this whole top 4 thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to come at Arsenal here. Didn't that top 4 thing become like a thing with Arsenal under Wenger? It was almost like the top 4 trophy sort of thing. Or I just made that up. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was under Wenger that it was kind of like, I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of getting top 4 is like winning a trophy or something like, we're paraphrasing, but that was the sentiment. Like top 4 is a trophy. And do you know what? Yeah. maybe a bit of context. Like obviously at that time, we owed a lot of money because of the stadium, innit? We owed a lot of money. So maybe getting top 4, the payments that we was getting from making top 4 and getting into the Champions League, maybe it was viewed as like a trophy because it was helping us out financially, innit? But we're in a position now where we don't need, like, finances aren't really an issue for Arsenal anymore. So that's why it's at this point, I think a lot of fans want to see Arsenal do more and actually win like major things because we're blessed. There's no more excuses for Arsenal. I could hear the we don't have money excuse. I could hear that we got to pay debt. We're in debt. We need to pay back the stadium. I hear all that. We're not signing this player because we got to pay this back. Cool. I can hear all that. But now we're financially free. Do you know what I mean? There's not too much difference between our spending and Man City spending and Man United spending and Liverpool spending. And do you know what I mean? So we should be winning similar amount of things.
Would you take the FA Cup over Champions League qualification?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I would, you know.
He's like,
no, I would, because there's one trophy in the last 5 years.
I would, you know, because you know what? Because I believe that if we won the FA Cup going to the Europa League, we could win the Europa League, and then we can make our way back into the Champions League.
I was going to say, what you said about the FA Cup, I was going to say it. In fact, you did say yes straight away. I would have been surprised if you said
no, but you know, because obviously, like, me personally, yeah, like, because obviously, when I was saying stuff about the FA Cup, I'm speaking from a personal perspective. Like, I completely understand if fans don't want to trade Champions League for winning the FA Cup, but like the FA Cup, like it's got like personal sentiment to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I would always, whenever I win it, I'm over the moon. Do you know what I mean? I'm over the moon.
Do we think the FA Cup now? Do you think they should give a Champions League place to the winner rather than Europa League? It's
one of the most prestigious trophies in football in history. It's one of the oldest
competition.
Yeah.
It should have a Champions League space for
because that's depriving a team that's done it over 38 games playing only Premier League opposition. It's denying them a place.
For example, though, if it's top 5 teams in the Premier League, right, getting Champions League football, why not make it top 4 and give the 5th one to the FA Cup winners?
Yeah,
there's some validity. That's more valid because let's be honest. And I know it's a fact that the big clubs have been winning the FA Cup for the past God knows how many years. But at the end of the day, you only have to win about 6 or 7 games, 7 or 8 games rather. You know what I mean? Whereas a league is the proper test. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be great though? Like I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of saying, right, if there are 4 places, 3 go in the Premier League, because then now all of a sudden it stops this whole nonsense about top 4 talk. Teams stop talking about it. You have to go for it. And B, then it means every single club will go hell for leather in the FA Cup.
True.
Because you would know that. I agree with you, Ant. I do agree with you that 7 games versus 38 is wrong. But wouldn't it be lovely to get to the FA Cup weekend? And who is it? I saw Burnley this weekend, like resting about 7 or 8 players. And I'm like, hang on, you could be 3 or 4, you could be 3 games away from winning the FA Cup. Now, I know that they're chasing championship, a promotion, but surely that's the beauty of the cup, isn't it? That's the romanticism of it. So for me, who would like to see that and who wouldn't?
It would make the Premier League more competitive.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. I think
it needs to be done. Whether it does happen or not is another question. But it would definitely add more value back onto the competition that, from a club perspective, has definitely been devalued.
I'll tell you what, I'm really disappointed in, and that is the fact that I'll come back to you on that because I've just got the team through. I was going to say Nuno said he's going to play another reserve side, and we're 2 games away from Wembley. Do you know what I mean? That does seem a little bit silly, but let me just check. You carry on.
On the topic what we're speaking about, I know it's a completely different competition. We've already seen it with the Europa League. There's incentive in that. You've seen teams that might have not taken it as seriously, especially English teams. Now you get that, not even just a place in the Champions League, an automatic place. You're seeded. You've seen teams take that seriously straight away.
What's going on, man? I think this guy's disgusting, and I'm absolutely appalled by you, considering a man your age. I can tell that you and Wolfie are basically the pensioners of YouTube.
Yeah, he's a couple of years older than me, obviously.
Yeah. I agree with that one.
Yeah.
What I love about him, he comes in so friendly, doesn't he? He comes in softly spoken. He comes in, just comes shots fired immediately. Look now. Just quickly before we move on, I want to talk about. We're going to go to Man U in a minute. Just quickly, is everyone making Man City outright favourites for the cup, or does anyone think it will be one outside of City?
No, my favorite. Whoever wins out Bournemouth against City, but whoever wins out Bournemouth and City, I think we're going to win it.
I think Palace are going to win it.
My money's on.
Mateta's out though, isn't it? Now Mateta's out, which is.
He won't be out for that. He won't be out for that long.
No. Okay.
Nah, a couple stitches. I can't believe you said you'd choose Champions League over FA Cup.
Do you know what? I think in a one-off game,
what can I say?
Villa have City's number. I think Aston Villa win it, but I want Crystal Palace to win it. But I think it's Villa's. I genuinely
think Villa's going to win it.
Yeah.
I think it's the highest ranked club, and nobody's mentioned it.
If Bournemouth can get over City, though, I think they'll be slept on. I'll be real. Like Bournemouth on their day, on a one-off game. On a one-off game, I want to roll up Bournemouth against anyone.
And Brighton and no mugs.
Yeah, Brighton.
I think
true.
I think Preston will win it, but I want Fulham to win it.
Preston have won it a few times.
The original Invincibles. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But I want Fulham to win it, innit? Because obviously Haaland, you know what I mean?
I tell you, here's a hot take. As a Forest fan, I was more. This is God's honest truth, and I think a lot of Forest fans are with me on this. I was more nervous about drawing Bournemouth than I was Man City. I would rather us play Man City than Bournemouth, because Bournemouth kill us every time, and they're playing so well at the moment. Well, they have been.
I think it depends what City you get and where, right? Like, you know, when City came to us last Wednesday in the first half, it looked like they were just going to get. They should have been 4 or 5 up at half time.
Yeah.
But then you get the Man City that on the travels don't look as good and look quite wide open. So I think that's going to be a cracker of a game, like Mike's has said. I think that's going to be a cracker of a game. Bournemouth versus Man City.
They're going to be more up for that.
I might watch that instead of out.
Yeah, it's at Bournemouth's ground. They're going to be up for that. They're going to be up for that more than City are. And the way City played against Plymouth, they struggled to break them down in open play. They struggled to break down Plymouth in open play. So Bournemouth are going to play at a different intensity compared to Man City on that day.
Yeah, I think
so. Look, talking about the FA Cup, let's ask Kaz then. Kaz, yesterday I did a watch along for your game. I didn't think you were great. It was a very slow start, but towards the end of the second half, an extra time, you had plenty of chances. Like, you had chance after chance after chance to finish that game off. Is that defeat on Amorim, or is this on the players for not finishing their dinner?
Nah, it's definitely on that. For me, yesterday was on the players, really. It's just, I don't think Fulham are that great. They didn't create nothing, really. I mean, they had lots of possession, but did nothing with it. Technically, we didn't lose the game, did we? So
we're clutching now, are we?
It does go down as a draw, in fairness.
But it's just for me now. It's on the players for not winning that game, really. Like, Garnacho could have put something away. Cheeto could have put something away. I'd say Xerxes put in a better ball. Never mind. There was plenty of opportunities. It just didn't happen. You know what? It's just, but this is the FA Cup as well. At the same time, people need to remember. It's just like, it's fair and square, innit? A team defended okay, got a bit of luck. Leno produces some world-class saves. Well, one of them out of all of them. And then, we just got knocked out. I wouldn't say we was anything great, but what? This is United. Like, this is what everyone knows at the moment. So,
I mean, guys, with United, everyone's talked about them all season, but I looked at the forward line again. I don't know why anyone thinks anything will be different any game. It just looks so powder puff, doesn't it? Like Xerxes, for me, looks like a very talented footballer. And you'll be able to tell me, Kaz, if I'm right or wrong here. It looks like a very talented footballer, but seems to want about 3 seconds too much time every time on the ball. It's like he's trying to do things at his own pace. Højlund works really hard, runs the channels well.
Crap.
But there's no quality. Like, do you know? There's no quality there.
Just say he's just crap. He's crap. Like,
I was trying to look for the positives in him. He works hard. I'll give him that.
He'll probably be a solid player in another league, or maybe probably. But in the Prem, he's a crap player at the elite standard. He's not even actually. How about this? He wouldn't even start for relegation for the team like Leicester. I'd rather play Jamie Vardy or someone else up front. That's the realness of it. Who else? Who's Ipswich? The lap's better than him. Who else down in Southampton? I'd rather have Cameron Archer or something.
Yeah.
Better than him. They're all better than him. The thing with Xerxes, though, you got to remember, he's a guy that didn't get
West Ham.
He didn't.
Nah.
I don't know about that.
I'm the most negative West Ham fan there is. These shit.
The thing with Xerxes, I find, is everyone gave Hoyland, including myself, about 12, 18 months to land. But when it comes to this guy, he's playing in a position that he's probably never played in, that he's got to adapt to. He's got to play with a bunch of bums. And on top of that, he didn't even start a majority of the games. He really and truly, let's be real, he's only starting there because there's no one else to go there. And is he allowed to adapt to the Premier League a little bit? I think that looks like a player that's adapting to the speed of it, but you got to give him better players as well. He needs runners around him. How can you... What do you expect from him when you don't even have a guy that wants to overlap in terms of the low? We've done it like twice. And oh my God, whoopsie, do you overlap? You get an assist. Crazy. World of football, isn't it? So yeah, man, but I just think it doesn't matter which player you want to select. It's too imbalanced. No matter what coach there is, we go back to playing low block football, right? We'll say, what's your identity? What's your style? You're just bringing, what's the point of getting Saka and Ten Hag if you're going to do the same thing he done in his first season? When you want to play expansive, he said it himself, these lot can't play football. It's as simple as that.
I think it's dead simple, because of the name Manchester United, people can't just look at the squad and say, actually, that's a poor squad.
It is.
Those players are not very good.
They're not.
Simple as that. No manager's going to do a lot with them.
Well, look at the front line. I say it all the time. What other manager comes in, whether it's Pep, any manager you can find, that's going to get a selection out of, even if it is Rashford still there, Anthony, Ahmad, Hoyland, Xerxes, like all that front line is, when you put that all on paper, that front line is absolutely cheeks. There's one front line three that I liked, and we only saw it once. Twice, I think, maybe twice. With Xerxes, Rashford, Ahmad. Okay. That's the only front three I kind of liked ish. And even then, it has its limitations.
Yeah.
So it don't really matter how you look at it.
That's mad, right? When you say that,
that's like the Everton game.
When you talk about,
I think it was the Everton one and also the Southampton one.
But when you talk about that front line, like you look at the history of attacking players that Man United have had and the money they've spent on players, to say that United's best front line is like Rashford, Xerxes, and Ahmad. I know Ahmad's an exciting player and whatnot and could be good, but they should have, United should surely have way better than that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Southampton's attacking lineup.
It's not bad to be fair. Suleiman and Dibbling. Like,
I'll take both of them.
Despite the deficiencies, like there is that he is better. But with Xerxes, like you even put him up front where he's not really suited to where Amorim plays. He doesn't really like that type of striker up front. He's not really a number 10 like that either in terms of like this specific system. But to play Xerxes style, as Kaz said, runners in behind. Who does he have to link up with in that team? Who's going to run in behind for him in that team? So realistically, I think he's been left to die out C in that team. If I'm being real, like
it don't matter how you put it. Rashford, people think that because he's speedy and everything, he runs him. He don't even run him behind enough. He lacks the IQ to do it. This is when you look at Garnacho. Look, I like how people try to say, yeah, look at Firmino and Mane, but guess what? Mane, Salah used to do. They could link up with the link man. Garnacho can't link up with the link man. He's literally eye for goal, be the hero. If it don't go in, you go again. Get clapped by the fans, top reds. Even though that guy is not that good for United. He ain't scored 18 games.
Can I say something about Garnacho?
So selfish. Unbelievable.
I feel like, though, I don't know if I might be in a minority. I know he is still young. I want to bear that in mind. I feel like if he's coached properly, there's a really good footballer in there. But what they need to coach out of him is it's that final ball, when to pass, when to cross, when to shoot. Because he does. I thought you looked much more dangerous when he came on. When he came on, he was only one running at them.
But that's the issue. United lack pace. And the thing is, he's an impact player. He can't start. Has anyone ever seen him start? He looks absolutely amazing. Never.
No, never.
Football's full of great players that have been tricky wingers and been let down by the final ball. And at the end of the day, the final ball is the most important part of wingers' armour.
Look at Adama Traore. If that boy had better end product, he'd be one of the best wingers we've seen in the last decade. But he hasn't.
St. Maxim, he was a new one.
Oh my God! If he could finish, he'd be the best player in the world.
Yeah. But listen, Garnacho's a one-trick pony, though. That's why he does better off the bench. The defenders are already tired. If you face him from the start, they've already read his game. Always wants to face them face on and go around the outside, and then he falls over his left foot.
But he never used the fullback either. Like I've watched him a few times when Dorgu's played. He never uses Dorgu at all. Like you don't like to link with a fullback on the outside.
Yeah, he always wants to get into the box, but the defender's already predicted. But when the defender's already tired, you can run at him.
His persona's all wrong because the fact is, let's keep it a buck as well. If it's a player who we deem like Rashford, an IC3, someone that's, or maybe even someone that's just of foreign descent, maybe, or whatever, even though he is, but we know what we're talking about. He makes posts, right? And it's all about him. Now, God forbid that Rashford did that or somebody else did that or Ahmad did that or somebody else, because it'll be all over the top red news, all that crap, and it'll be getting given stick. But it's died down. Look at post yesterday, Mason Mount with his ex-Chelsea teammates. Imagine Pogba did that at that time with the rest of Marcel and that. Oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious me. This is what I'm saying. I just want United to come away from individual ability. This is my whole thing, even if it means if I suffer. And that's what I think this manager wants, to get away from all of that crap. Because that's what we've been relying on for years since Jose Mourinho. That's what it is. Great, like whether you want Rashford up there, Ibrahimovic or whatever, Lukaku, all these man, Greenwood, Marcel. At the end of the day, since Mourinho, we've been relying on individual ability to get us past a lot of games. Not because it looks like a coach's game. Because low block football, anyone can coach. That's why I don't rate Nuno. It's why I don't rate these other men and all this. Because anyone can play low block football and look good and get results. But in the grand scheme of things, when you want to go out and be expansive, it all shuts down at one point. Nuno won't survive in that Forest job for a long time if they want to do top 4 aspirations. I promise you that. But
no. Don't tell anybody that me and Wolfie have already been discussing next season.
Low block football's criminal, man. It's unless you got like a Simeone.
Listen, if you're winning, it's in our position and you're winning, it's fine. But we've said all along, the moment it goes wrong, he can Cooper off. You know what I mean? It's like
I can't lie though, Kaz.
You've got to be winning.
Managers like Big Sam and Sean Dyche, they made a career out of that. They made
but look where they are in the table, because that you don't criticize those guys. But when you want to be at the top, unless you can be like Mourinho didn't always play low block. Simeone don't always play low block and all that kind of stuff. They do rely heavily on other tools, but they always have the money to go and replenish to the best of those tools, innit? That's why it makes them so hard to do.
Mourinho, because this myth that he's forever been pragmatic, it's not. If you look at his Madrid 2012 team, the one
top scorers.
Oh my God, they were very open and expansive. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Mourinho. I hate that myth that he was just pragmatic his whole career. Even his Porto teams to a certain extent.
Even a Chelsea 4-4-2 diamond, was that pragmatic? I don't remember that being pragmatic.
With Robin and Robin, innit? I think.
Yeah, but Robin couldn't play that. But even before he went wide, innit?
I think the genius of Mourinho, or a big part of the genius of Mourinho, is collecting the right players and instilling them that willingness to run through brick walls for him. I think that's massive reason for a lot of his success. If you've got players that buy into what you're doing and will absolutely run themselves into the ground, it's a great advantage to have.
Like when Mourinho was playing that 4-2-4-2, like it pretty much was a 4-2-4 at the time. The way Ronaldo used to try that with Benzema at Real Madrid, that was a low block. He used to play Ozil and Di Maria just in behind. That was quite exciting to watch. And anybody said it wasn't exciting to watch between Ozil, Di Maria, Benzema and Ronaldo at the time? Like, I always enjoyed watching the Real Madrid team at the time.
Yeah, maybe you didn't go low block there, because I'm not being funny. When you've got young Varane, at that point, you've got Ramos. I think Pepe was still there. I think Carvalho was coming out to the end of his tenure. These people you don't need 4 people to be low, like playing a low block, because they were that good that they cover ground regardless. The midfielders, is that the midfield when he brought in Xabi Alonso? Khedira. Oh my God, this guy had such a team, man. Oh my, they were amazing. And the front line just do everything you can to absolutely kill the other team, and they had that.
And Kaz, Ramos only just converted to a centre back then.
Yeah, because he only just converted.
He only just converted Ramos to a centre back then. So people don't really talk about that enough. He tweaks it for his specific thing. When he needs to tweak someone's position to make it work for him, he's very good at that.
Yeah, you know what though? It's just, I think United is down to mainly it's poor recruitment, isn't it? It's simple as that. Poor recruitment or not enough recruitment. Because I don't mind our summer signings. It's just that when you look at that style of player to that style of player, it doesn't mix and match. There's no balance within the team. So that's why I'm patient with United more than maybe the next United. Like, standards. Yeah, but I'm like, it doesn't matter what way you want to put the coaching or whatever. You're going to moan about something that you don't like. That's my issue with United fan base. They want to moan all the time. You got to win, but you want to moan. I can't be bothered with that. And it's just that's why I can't even make United content. It's the same conversation.
This is interesting, isn't it? Like Alexander's right here. You know, Amorim's gone from a club where he's had Gyökeres in absolute phenomenal form. If he had Gyökeres right now, where do we all think? I think Man United would be 12, 15 points better off if they had Gyökeres up front because they create. You have chances. You just can't finish them. Do you agree, or do you think it would to a
degree? I think to a degree I agree. Because I don't know how he's gonna land. Romz, I know you look like you're itching to say something here, but I'm gonna put this to Cheeto. Yeah, Cheeto made his own chances yesterday.
I was going to say
two of them, 3 chances in one game. That doesn't exclude the chance he made for himself, where he done a 1-2 with Xerxes against Everton, or where he missed that chance against Everton, or even he came on for a small cameo. He didn't even make an impact because he didn't even get the ball anyways because it's like 2 minutes. But my whole thing was Rasmus Højlund's had 3 big chances in 22 games. So it's not always the fact that you can't create for him, but you don't help yourself. Do you get it?
Yeah,
it's funny. And Man United look like a better team every time Højlund comes off the pitch. There needs to be more tools. I said, even if we're playing low block football, we'd be about 8th right now, regardless. Probably be battling it out a little bit. But we still be complaining that we're not in the top 4, and we'll probably be complaining about the manager and the team and everything else that goes along with it anyways. So when I say these United fans who go back on their word, I don't care if it's 8th or 15th, they do care.
Cass, do you think that Man U create more chances than Nottingham Forest?
I think you're a lot more clinical.
Well, this was going to be my point, because I know that if I just mention Chris Wood, people will laugh. But the guy's got 18 Premier League goals this season. What I'm saying is, if Chris Wood was in your side, would you be higher up the table? I think you would.
Yeah, no, I would, because I think Wood's a good player. Like, I didn't think he was going to be this good this season.
No, none of us did.
But Chris Wood should and did.
Yeah, you're right. No one did.
I was gonna say just to know what Kaz was saying with Cheeto. When I saw Cheeto against Everton, you can see his fundamentals were there as a number 9. Yes, his passing was a bit off, but the runs he was making, his positioning was good. And I think the more he plays, I think that will get better. But what I would say is no top 6 club should be relying on an 17, 18-year-old striker. No. To be firing up the league. It just shouldn't happen. That's how low United are at the moment. But
what's his nationality? But is he playing for? Is it Nigeria or is it England?
He can play for Nigeria or England, either or. I think
we might have an issue again because we're tipped to sign Osimhen. Yeah, this summer. It looks like we might be paying his release. I don't know. But if we're gonna go for Osimhen, then we've got 2 strikers that are gonna be up for Nigeria and AFCON. Who we play? And they go far in all the competitions to like quarter semis and stuff. It's like we have the same issues again if we go for this guy. Now that's another recruitment issue.
They got to the final last time. They got to the final.
Did you get it? They're good. Nigeria, a sick team as well, you know.
Get into sign for England.
Play for England, though. I think Cheeto, if he,
he should. I think he should go for Nigeria, man. In my
opinion, I agree with you. I agree with you. But
I would love. Go on.
It's like the Saka situation, bro. That we all know with like AFCON and whatnot, Nigeria have a quality team, but they're blessed with strikers like Boniface, Osimhen. I'm probably even forgetting some, right? I just feel like the more he thrives in England, I feel like that spot at number 9. Because if we're being honest,
it's crap,
once Kane retires, we're quite bleak up there. So I think he will probably switch allegiance to England. I can't see him playing for Nigeria, especially if his trajectory keeps going like that. Because
we don't know though. His parents might be onto him. Like he could have people around him saying that. You know what it is, especially after Jamie Carragher. Because he needs to land, innit? But Jamie, for me, it's just Jamie Carragher. After James Carragher's comments, I want more players. I want more players at AFCON. For me, there's so many players England keep hold of. I just think the more players that go AFCON, the bigger the competition, and it will become as big as the Euros. I would love that. More money should be pumped into it because the amount of talent that comes out of Africa is unreal. Yeah, and it always playing for other countries.
In Africa, it's massive in Africa. Same as the Euros are massive here. There's not a difference. I don't think the Euros are as big as AFCON in Africa.
I'm telling you now, when it comes to East African borders, they got the best dribbling on planet Earth, bar Brazilians. I don't care. Has anyone played against Somalis before? My life. Try to get the ball of them in 7-a-side football. Or the Ethiopians. It's insane. It's insane.
In PE and in school, Somalis were always first picked. Always first picked in school. They were.
Put them in 11 side. They're useless. They're useless.
I'm sorry, I can't imagine Saeed being picked first. I can't do it.
Bro, they never never pass the ball, though. They
don't pass. They don't pass. But that's the thing. You just sit back and defend, just pass it to them, and they'll try and dribble all the way through.
Just quickly, you know what we were talking about the FA Cup, and so just on a side note, I've just looked at the Ipswich team coming across the screen, and Ipswich have left out like 7 or 8 of their first team on the bench. You know, when you're thinking, come on, you're probably going to go down. Give it a go.
Yeah,
I didn't play Ben Johnson.
They've got no excuse.
I've seen Della, Juice, Greaves,
who?
Philogene. Well, Greaves is their main centre half. Philogene, Jack Clark. They're all on the bench, and I'm like, what are you like?
They might have a win. O'Shea's not playing. They might win. He is one of the worst centre backs I've ever seen.
It's not Ben Johnson.
We've made 5 changes, by the way.
Is he starting?
No, he's not starting. No, they're playing a 3-5-2 as well.
What about Ben Johnson?
Ben Johnson's playing. Yeah, he's playing right wing back.
Yeah, they've lost.
Twanzabe's playing. I don't know who that is. Burgess is playing.
Why are you linked to him? He's so bad. I'm a West Ham fan. He's one of the worst right backs I've seen at my club.
This literally looks like I'm watching the championship game go all over again.
Midweek.
The play,
Forest have done it as well.
No, but they're not a good team. They just play. Yates in attacking. You got 3 defensive.
No. Yates is not. Yates is in a double pivot with Sangare. With the looks of it,
I like Yates. I think he's old school.
He's crap, man. Let's be honest. He's crap, man.
In terms of what you appreciate, like ball playing,
I hear it.
In terms of just getting stuck in and dark arts, I think Yates is brilliant.
You like black boots. You like black boots, normal socks, tucked in his shirt. Lee Cattermole, isn't it? He's the Lee Cattermole of today's football. That's what he is.
He is.
Yeah. Perfect. But he has a purpose. Bring him on for the last 10 minutes to kick a few people up.
That makes sense. Actually, he got you a winner, didn't he? The other day, header, I think.
Do you know what?
Was it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Do you know what, Anne? If it wasn't for your form, and because you're not going to fix what's not broken, if Danilo didn't get that serious injury, he would have been starting most of your game. Is he starting tonight?
Danilo's playing.
This is my Palmeiras Danilo shirt. I love the guy. And I was almost in tears when he broke his ankle in the first 20 minutes of the season, mate. You know,
he would have been starting.
Danilo.
Can I just ask why
the Brazilian
Forest? Why are Forest at home not playing the likes of Gibbs, White, and Wood? Like,
they're playing. You know, they want their European football as well. They got Man City. They got Man City on Saturday.
Yeah, but when did we get to this stage, guys? I don't know. Listen, I might be showing my age here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When did we get to this stage where every fan seems to be so worried that every player is going to get injured every game? And
I don't get that.
Listen, for years and years, footballers are either going to get injured or they're not, right? We did it Wednesday night we played City, and he didn't play Kulusevski or Jed Spence, right? 2 of our best players this season. And I'm sitting there going, why? And fans going, well, don't forget we've got AZ Alkmaar next Thursday. And I'm like, sorry, 8 days away. Sorry, footballers now what? They can play once every 8 days. Like,
do you know what it is, though? Yeah,
it's paranoia. I think it gets into the players' heads as well. It's absolute paranoia. And what gets me is that the amount of times when I've seen a team rest players, lose the cup match, and then lose the league game anyway.
But if we go back to Twanzabe's interview as well, like the intensity we knew about 10 years ago, even longer, is probably not the same as the intensity now. He says when you finish a game, and obviously this is Twanzabe, not like someone who's more robust, I suppose, because he's always getting injured, but he's like, you're knackered, you're absolutely knackered by the end, because the amount of kilometers players have to run now. There's a at the end of a game. So when you keep doing it, even if it is week in, week out, they need some sort of rest, so there's not as much intensity on their legs.
Now let's translate this, Kaz, right? So for all these teams now that say we want Champions League football, suddenly you get in Champions League football, you don't rotate. Aston Villa this year, they're not rotating in the Champions League. They're putting their best 11 out in the league, then in the Champions League. That is exactly what Forest would have to do, or Newcastle, or whoever. So this whole
Forest are a bunch of idiots, in my opinion.
It seems mad.
Because the fact that Ant wants the Champions League, even though he's not going to win it because of exposure and the rest of it, even though he's going to get wiped the floor of in champs, right?
Well, you say that, honestly, mate, we don't know it. We beat Liverpool away this season. Anything's possible.
Aston Villa are in the Champions League. They've done well. They're going to get knocked out. Guess where they are in the table? They're probably not going to get champs. Probably not. Yeah, next season. Yeah, they're probably not because it's so tight, right? Same thing with Newcastle. What did that do for their exposure and money? They still couldn't get players last season, really and truly. So what did that do for finances? We keep going, and this is not even me having a diss on Nottingham Forest. Sometimes I'd think, how can you not win an FA Cup? It gets you into Europa League anyways.
If we get to the final, ask me again. I might change my mind.
But if you get you definitely would. Oh my word!
Yeah,
but it's like FA Cup. It's like you get an FA Cup, you get a trophy. You ain't won that since what 91 or 90 or just before. Basically, just before.
They didn't win it in 91.
No, that was you.
Don't take our
They've done a double league cup, didn't they? 89, 90 or something like that. But if we go to that, you get to Europa League. If you get into Europa League, right? I'll feel like, you know what? I might put Forest as one of the better teams, maybe depending on who they recruit.
Earlier on, I said I would take FA Cup and Europa League without doubt.
With over Champions League and no cup.
Yes.
Did he say that? Because I didn't hear that when I was listening, making my struggle.
I said I'd take FA Cup and
fair enough. You're not. You know what? You know what it is? It's blame Wolfie, by the way. Yeah, blame Wolfie. I apologize. It's all Wolfie, by the way. He's corrupted how I know.
You know nothing. Clean up what I have to do.
We got to do some streams. You got to do some more streams together, I think.
Can I just add on to that? Any fan you speak to that doesn't support Forest doesn't really mind Forest, liked Forest before they were introduced to Wolfie.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. Everyone used to be everybody's second favourite team.
I don't know where it was.
Wanted us back in the Premier League. Now everybody wants us back down again.
I don't know where it was, but I don't know where, because I don't know how me and Wolfie got in touch before, but I brought him on, innit? I feel like I've done the world a disservice.
Yeah,
because I'm not saying he wasn't known before because he was on Turkish AFTV and stuff, but I didn't know of him. Other people didn't really. I think this is why I might have found him, to be fair, and not many other people that I knew didn't online. It didn't really say him, but since then he's become the villain of
Everybody knows him now.
Hates him.
Recently,
I have to delete some comments because I'm like, you're doing too much. It's just football, mate. Like, relax.
Recently, you speak to a content creator. Yeah, I liked Forest before I met Wolfie. That's literally
Romz, I've got nothing against Forest, but I've got to be honest.
Sometimes it's a little bit. No, we're not going to win the league, mate. We're not going to do it.
Mathematically, you're still in the title race. That's all I've heard from Wolfie all year.
Mathematically, yeah, but you know when he talks to me privately.
Comedy.
It says different things, doesn't it?
By the way, guys, I hate to break the news to any of you. Mathematically, this was the weekend. Spurs can no longer win the league. Just so you know, if we win,
that means we can't have it.
That means we can't as well. If we win our last 11 games, we can only finish second. So it's a bad week. Guys, there's 3 of us on this panel right now that are all sitting on 33 points, right? It's so embarrassing.
Well, this one's got double the points, roughly, I think. It's crazy,
so embarrassing. All 3 of our clubs are sitting down in... I'll tell you what, let's bring it up, shall we? Let's bring up the Premier League table and have a look at how shit we are. There we go. We'll scroll to the bottom. I mean, have you ever known anything like it? Spurs, United, West Ham, Everton, all split by 1 point, right? And whoever has the worst weekend of all 4 teams ends up 16th in the Premier League table.
Who Palace got? Who Palace got?
Have you seen Palace's next 2 games, Kaz?
No, who they got?
Palace's next, if I'm not wrong, someone will tell me. I think they've got Leicester and Ipswich in the next 2 games. Hang on. I will find out for you. I'm pretty sure Palace have got...
Doesn't Brentford have like Fulham or something? There might be, but there's a will, there's a way, isn't it?
Crystal Palace have got Ipswich at Selhurst Park.
Crazy.
Right? Followed by they're playing someone called Ham Cam in a World Club friendly. And then they've got Fulham away and then Southampton away. So they've got
always in the FA Cup, ain't it? So yeah, of course it is.
Wait, do you know what's so funny about this thing?
They just beat them in the league 3-1, isn't it?
Yeah, you shouldn't be like where we are right now on the points that we are right now. And
Our three teams should not be there. For the teams that we technically want, we should not be there. We should not be there.
You know what's the worst part about that? You know the points we're on right now. Usually, the points we're on right now, this part of the season, we'd be in a relegation battle. But that's the bottom 3 teams are that bad. The gap is so big in between those positions from 15th to 18th. It's bad.
I've never seen a worse bottom 3. I haven't.
Yeah,
I mean, if we bring that up again,
maybe Derby season was one of the worst ones.
As a collective,
between them.
As the collective, Kaz, if you look at, hang on, let me get the bottom team in there. As a collective, I've never known at this stage. It's only Wolves giving it a shred of credibility. But look at the gap between Spurs, Man U, and West Ham and Ipswich. It's 16 points.
Yeah.
We're not getting relegated. That's all I care about.
We're not getting relegated.
I got my win. I still got to wait. I've got to play Leicester after Arsenal. Oh, might be in for a shout.
You know what's crazy?
It's going to be the lowest totals go down, isn't it? By a long way. I can't see them getting 30 points.
I was going to say none of these 3 teams have hit 40 points, and you're still celebrating survival already. It's crazy.
The fact that we're celebrating survival is the embarrassing part. Don't worry about how many points. But it's crazy, guys. When you look how tight it is at the top, like I forget Liverpool. When you look how tight it is from like 10th right the way through to like Forest,
third, isn't it? Something like that, yeah.
Then when you go to the bottom, the gap is it's not a gap, it's a chasm, isn't it? It's just absolutely huge.
Yeah,
and
but
I've got a feeling it will be exactly the same next year with whoever comes up. I do. I think the teams I'm seeing coming up, this Burnley team, they will go straight back down. This Sunderland, if they come up, they'll go straight back down.
I think Leeds might have a fighting chance, to be fair.
Leeds might, but other than that, I'm looking at it.
Is that just because of the crowd and the name Leeds? If you actually look at the
because it's not that bad. It's just Championship's difficult, isn't it, and whatnot. And they done it once before. It's not like they can't do it again. It's just the second season they went down. It all depends on their recruitment. They think Dan James is going to get them out. Yeah, maybe.
They're better players than Sunderland, Burnley, and
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. Oh, yeah, they'll come.
What's the point of that club sometimes, man?
They've still got Chris Wilder there. They're going to look the exact same as the last 2 seasons they went down.
He's basically a modern version of Neil Warnock.
They brought him back, man.
They brought him back. What's so mad about that, Romz? When they hired another manager after him, they sacked him and then just hired the caretaker, the youth manager that played the exact same formation, the exact same tactics before Wilder took over again. So they played the same formation, same way for like about 5-6 years.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd prefer West Brom to come up. Someone else, Sunderland, just not Burnley and Sheffield United.
Do you know who I want to come up?
Even Coventry.
I know who you're going to say, Sam. I have a good feeling. Do they begin with the M?
Millwall.
No, were you going to
get out of it?
Yeah.
Well, Millwall would be hilarious because of the Millwall fans.
I'm telling you now, they got a game in hand. They win that. They only go 4 points behind. Actually, have you not seen the playoff towards where Millwall? That's crazy.
You know what would come up?
It's not happening.
Go on.
I think it would be hilarious. I want Frank Lampard's Coventry to come up because I'll tell you what, guys. What a bloody good job Frank Lampard is doing at Coventry. I know we all want to get on his back, but he took over Coventry. They were a mess.
6 in a row.
And now they're in the top. Are they in the top 6?
Yeah, they're fifth.
They'll go straight back down. They'll go straight back down. It's Frank Lampard. They'll go straight back down.
They just recently
I'll
lost.
Take Frank Lampard at Spurs, Mike's. I'll take Frank Lampard at Spurs over Postecoglou.
You're lying.
That's too far. Come on.
Can I just go back to Millwall for a sec? I've got a little quick story about Millwall. We played them pre-season, and suffice to say, we came off with 3 bad injuries caused by vicious tackles, and the chairman said we will never play Millwall again. There's Millwall for you.
Well, you can't play him again. You might get relegated after next season, so you never know.
Dearie me.
You might get relegated.
You're closer to anyway. I'm not gonna go for it, Cass. I'm not Wolfie. I'm not gonna go for it.
You do just
Can I just ask you guys, right? What I find really strange is when these teams are coming up from the Championship and they all say, we want to play the same way that got us promoted, don't you just sit there immediately when they say that in the summer and go, you're getting relegated?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you remember the days where promoted teams used to come up? The first thing they do is like find some sort of 3 or 4 33-year-old Premier League veterans that would go in the team and just give them a bit of guidance, a bit of strength, and kind of grind out some wins. Now they all go, no, we're going to play this Russell Martin at Southampton. We're going to play
Vincent Kompany at Burnley. I think that's the best.
You know, when Burnley came up,
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
They're going down playing like that.
Yeah, for me, Russell Martin was the worst, the most naive. He thought he could do it with the exact same squad. And even with players that got them relegated in the first place.
Do you know what
you play up with the back with them?
They're almost Ange-like, aren't they?
They're even worse.
But do you know
in their refusal to adapt, you know, they're almost Ange-like.
Just without the quality of player to get to see you through. Like we're always going to win enough games because we've got enough quality.
Yeah,
but Southampton, people go, oh, isn't it good? Isn't it admirable? They play this style. Well, no, you've got like 9 points.
I would like Sunderland to come up just to piss off Newcastle a little bit more.
I love Sunderland.
Love them.
I like that derby. That's my favorite derby.
Man United got a way better connection, obviously, with Sunderland compared to the Mackhams, compared to the Geordies. But what's it called? Unless you can call them Geordies, I don't know if you're allowed. But yeah, I wouldn't mind them coming up because I actually like their project. I just think if they get given a bit more money as well, I think they would recruit a lot better than what other clubs have done. That's why I kind of believe in something a little bit more than maybe an Ipswich or whatever. Ipswich had no business coming up. They just did.
No. Yeah.
They went up too soon.
Bit like
they got promoted 2 seasons in a row, though. That's the thing. They got promoted 2 seasons in a row. People forget that. And then last season, it's a big feat.
But they're getting relegated. They're done. But I don't think Kieran McKenna's crap. I don't think he's a crap manager. I think he's a good manager. I think he's actually quite decent. I think he deserves a bigger job. And who he goes to, I don't know. But I don't look at Ipswich and look at that and that's a crap institute. I look at that and say that's not a manager thing. That's just a quality thing. They got good tackers, but their defense is Christ.
I'm not even saying this because you support West Ham, right? I think had you not appointed Potter, I think in the summer you could have went for McKenna. I think the players you have at your disposal suit him up to it.
I thought Ruud van Nistelrooy should have waited for that job.
That's a shout.
Joy is with McKenna. Like, I try to watch as much Championship as possible. Like, he at least still tries to go a bit more direct. He's not completely naive. But also, they've recruited for pretty much preparing for the Championship next season. Everyone they recruited in the summer were a lot of, like, the best Championship players or players that they took with them from the Championship. Like, Alif Davis was good there. Murray Hutchinson was good there. But they recruited a Jack Clark already. I bet, like, even a Ben Godfrey was good in the summer.
What we did, and everybody took the piss out of us, is we came up and we just bought everything we could and just packed our squad as much as we could. And we stayed up. And the following season, we paid the consequence of that by having 4 points deduction, but we still stayed up. We went for it. These teams that come up and keep the same team and the same formation, the same manager, and just go back down again. Sometimes to stay in the Premier League, having come up from where we came from, you've got to fight tooth and fucking nail. You've got to absolutely do everything you can to stay up. Spend all your money, buy all the players, and just hope. And that's what we did. We hoped. And we just scraped over the line 2 years running.
Wait, and that's the summer you spent over 100 million, didn't you?
Yeah. The first summer we came up, we spent about 130 million.
I was one of the odd ones
bought 30 players.
I commend what Forest are doing because you actually try, like you said, you were trying to
We tried.
You were signing 20 players. It was risky.
We could have sat there. We only had 6 full-time professionals when we got promoted. 6. That's all we had in our entire squad.
Yeah, you had a lot going out, innit?
Yeah. So we had to buy all those players, and we were fortunate. We've got an owner that's willing to do it.
Flipping,
we'd have come up and tried to penny pinch. We'd have been back down at the bottom of the bloody first division by now. You know,
Do you
no
know what?
doubt.
On that point, and
Yeah.
in the on the point that the comment just put there, do you know what was Burnley's problem as well as their style of play? They tried making their squad as young as possible whilst trying to survive relegation. They kept trying to sign young players, and they changed the whole core of the team that got them promoted in the first place. So all the players like Muric, Josh Cullen, Josh Brownhill, and all these players that got them promoted were on the bench because they bought so many players. Like, if you look at Burnley's squad, they had about like 10, 12 wingers in one. Like, it was so like top heavy. They have like 10 or 12 wingers, and about 5 to 7 of them never got a game all season because
Mike, you've got to have experience. Listen, even if you're not in a relegation battle, I look at Spurs right now, and the one thing that we're severely lacking is experience, leadership. Yeah. You've got to have leadership throughout your team. It doesn't matter what level of football you're at. I suppose you could look at many teams and say that, oh, they play some nice, pretty football and they do some good bits. But if you've not got the leadership, the know-how, the dark arts of how to get over the line in games, the games where you're not playing well, you know, look at if you look at the table, Mike's right. This is the strange thing. If you look at the table with Spurs, we've drawn 3 games in 27, which tells you we can't grind out from the games where we're losing 1-0. We can't turn them into draws. You know,
and in the games where you're winning, you also can't hold on to that. Yeah,
exactly. It's a bit of experience. But then if you do that by design, like we did, we can't then complain about that. You've got, you know, we had a transfer window where we signed 5 players, 4 of them were 20 and under, right? And then the manager comes out and says, oh, I didn't want to buy. He said, there's 2 ways you can get experience into your team or leadership. He said, you can either acquire it or you can develop it. And I prefer to develop it. Cool. So when we lose these games, don't come out and go, well, we weren't experienced enough. Well, yeah, you built this. You chose this route.
Also, the best way also the best way of developing that surely is alongside somebody that's experienced that can show them the way.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, Chelsea complain about the same thing, don't they? That they've got no leaders in that.
You've got to have some leaders.
So think about what Chelsea are suffering with since Thiago Silva left. They complain about the defense all the time, and that's the thing. Even though Thiago Silva was dropping off last year, like, he was still a leader. They've got no one in that defense who's captain material, and their defense is so naive when he gets tested. Like, even when a Fofana leaves, Colwell, Chalobah, whoever, they're all very naive, very weak at the back.
And you got my idiot cousin VD, absolute idiot. Say, we should be all over this Dean Howson sign. What an absolute prat. Oh yeah, just go get another 18, 19, 20-year-old because that's gonna fix things. It's like, but this out, but you're approving of their flipping whole strategy. What you on about? I'm pretty sure if you do your scouting, there's some absolute mint players out there in other leagues or whatever that's got some decent experience out there. Do you know what I mean? It's just, if you want to do this back three, go buy Senesi then, because he's quality for me. He's quality.
Do you know what? Yeah, do you know what, Chaz?
I've not heard that name in a while.
He's been injured. He's been injured since November. Yeah, he's been injured. But that's the thing, bro. Before that, Zabani Hoyson partnership, Senesi and Zabani were the partnership. The only reason why Hoyson's playing is because Senesi's injured.
Now he's linked to Real Madrid. Now everyone wants Hoyson. You see how football demand this? It can just.
Hey, Romz, do you know what I saw the other day? You know, there was like Juventus are looking for a young centre back like Hoyson. Bro, you let him go last summer.
Yeah.
Wait, let me guess. That Fischer guy quoted it. That I don't know why.
The Portuguese guy.
Whatever the hell he is, he is the worst journo of all time, and he's not even a journo. He's just an opinion piece that's got his own website, and they're all quoting. I was like, can you stop quoting this guy, please? It's pissing me off. Like, I'm putting you a lot off of notification, turning it off if that's the case, because he's not it. It's crap.
Yeah. Look. People always look at the sources and think it's gospel, isn't it? Like the Graham Baileys and the Jacob Steinbergs. Like, get out of it, man, with them.
There's too many in the nose now, aren't there? But listen, guys, I do want to leave it there. I mean, Wolfie's got to go and watch Ipswich's B team knock out Forest, and then next week Wolfie can tell us how he didn't want to win it anyway.
Wolfie, Wolfie. I thought you called me Wolfie.
Oh yeah, you called him Wolfie back.
No, I'm talking about Wolfie.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Wolfie's got to go and watch his club, and I thought you meant I've got to go.
Wolfie will tell us. No. Listen, guys and girls, what I say, please smash the like button on the way out. We've been really, really tight today with likes and subscribers throughout as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to all my guests first and foremost. Their channels are all in the bio for this show and in the links there. Please do subscribe to myself as well. It's been, I don't know about you lot, it's been a tough week on YouTube. Tough 10 days. Oh my
God.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this show, though.
Yeah, great. Big. Yeah, agreed. Last 5-6 days have been absolutely tremendously crap.
Do you know what? I hate, without being rude, I feel like the last 10 days, 7 days, whatever, has been like I've gone back to being a YouTuber who's only just started a channel and got like 100 subscribers. Just can't like,
yeah.
It's a
everything's gone.
Because the FA Cup weekend was crap. You had Arsenal drawing Forest, so I lost that algorithm. Because it's funny when Wolfie does lose, people love it. I know I'm getting over 1,000, 1,200 people in like Wolfie block. They all hate him. I know exactly. I don't get it.
To the cooking.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's all about algorithms for me. I don't care. I'm open about it. I need certain clubs to lose.
It's all about Forest losing for you. That's what you're saying.
I need it. When Tottenham lose, everyone loves it because everyone wants to see Deji and his excuses. And he's like, even Tottenham have won like last 3.
On that note, listen, much love, everyone. We'll be back next week where we would have had some Premier League football and all of the European football as well this midweek. Kaz, thank you very much. Romz, thank you. Mike's, Ant, big up to Hooks, big up to Charlie as well. And as always, Ange out, Levy out, Enoch out. But come on, you Spurs, and big up, sorry, LB 1998. So sorry, mate. I've just seen this. Chelsea missed out on Julian Alvarez. He's unreal. He's
unreal player.
Really good little striker, Julian Alvarez, isn't he? But big up to you, LB 1998. Really appreciate that. Thanks, everyone. Take care. And as always, come on.
You Reds.